Got us? Okay, let's call this meeting to order. We're running behind. Minutes and reports received and filed.
Yes, we have the December 2014 county clerk meeting.
Glad you did that, so I remember to shut my speakers off. Mute, thank you.
Okay,
Check my phone too.
Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports.
I have a MMRPC meeting, I think tomorrow. At noon.
Got Leadership Friday. About the only thing. We got a couple other meetings in there, nothing crazy.
I had Chamber of Commerce this morning already, and I'm gonna go out and meet Christie at 3. We're gonna show off the facility to the new CEO of Cap Region Medical Center. I think she's having cocktails too at 3.
Oops, sorry.
I think,
Healthy food, you know.
yeah.
Healthy food.
Sam Bushman, SAM, BUS. Cocktails, huh?
Yeah, I think.
Refreshments.
Yeah.
Any other upcoming meetings and events? Chamber Gala was really pretty good. Jeff, actually, I think he behaved. I don't know, there were a lot of people there, but I think.
What time did you leave?
Oh, I don't know.
I did, always.
Yeah, he behaved.
We shut them down, it was a good time.
Okay. Do we have any other unfinished business? So we have our request for abatement. Where's Larry's here?
Is that the first?
You want Mrs.
That's our new business. We got no unfinished business, right?
Let me just real quick give you
Sure, just give us.
Miss Eater owns Good Friends Incorporated building, which is located at 3524 North Timberline Drive. She had to pay her taxes, just simply forgot to pay her taxes, she said, and wanted to know if the commission would abate her penalties and interest.
I think her excuse was she was getting dementia, getting old, and I don't think that's a good excuse, so. Do we have to actually vote on it, or we just gotta talk about it?
Well, you have to send her a response, and
Yeah.
either you are or you aren't, so I'm assuming you would have to take some type of vote.
Yes or no?
Just take a vote.
Do you got any more discussion on it, or I'm not apt
You can
to?
move
No.
not to
I,
encourage it.
you know, you're opening up a can of worms. Boy, if we do it for one person, I mean, I just don't think legally we can do it. I think it's,
Well, Sam, the statute's pretty specific.
yeah, it's,
Very limited.
The statute basically says it has to be an error on the county's,
yeah.
an error or omission on the county's part.
I move that we deny the request.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
We will write her a letter to that effect, so.
Cole County Health Department to discuss jurisdictional issues.
So as you know, we've had much discussion about how we can continue to provide services in the municipalities concerning our public health ordinances. And after working with Jill, we came up with a packet that I emailed to you guys that has a letter that we want to send out to them. And it has an agreement that would need to be signed between the county and the municipality. And it has template ordinances that they would have to adopt by inserting their name and the statutes that give them the authority to adopt those ordinances. So we are requesting your approval to proceed with that process, to send out the letter and to start meeting with those small cities or towns individually to make this happen.
Jill, this is something, then you went over this and,
All of
Several
us have
times.
been working on this for quite a while, so.
And you're happy with it, how they are as in that final package?
Yeah. Fine with it.
So you'll have to bring back the final agreements to us to sign, is that correct?
How it works is they need to enact their own ordinance, and we've given them, in order for the health department to inspect, they need to inspect to the same standards that they currently inspect to in the unincorporated areas. So they would have to adopt an ordinance that is substantially similar to ours in order for the environmental unit to be able to use the same standards. Anyway, so we've given them our ordinances and we deleted everything specific to county, to Cole County, and our statutory authority, and they need to fill in for municipality. And then we have an agreement that it's an MOU. It's kind of like the sheriff's MOU that he uses to enforce municipal ordinances in some of these towns. In fact, I think we took the same agreement and kind of modified it for the health department. So it says, we can enforce your ordinances for these environmental issues, and then we get the fines, or not fines, but
Fees.
fees.
And we would
Yeah.
collect them, like for the food establishment, we would collect the inspection fee directly from the food establishment, not from the municipality.
I don't have any problems with it. Do we need to roll call vote this, or just instruct them to move forward, or?
I'd say just instruct to move forward.
I would say, just go ahead. I mean, you can't really
Yeah.
vote on the agreement until we see what ordinances they enact, because if they enact something that's completely different or it's incomplete.
I think basically they're gonna adopt the same ordinances we have, just to keep it simple from discussing with the other mayors, especially, St. Thomas is the one that's
Right.
at the forefront of this one. St. Martin's probably is too, or do we do theirs already? We were doing theirs, weren't we? But then we had to have some changes. I mean, they can have other ordinances on the books, we just can't enforce them if they're outside our scope. So-
Correct.
So go ahead and get the agreement from them, and once we get that, we can approve it.
Has Russellville,
Right.
are they participating in this too?
We will send it to them. I know
Okay.
they are very interested. Unfortunately, they have that ordinance that affects chickens that is more stringent than what we have, and we will not be able to enforce that.
But I think they realize that, and that's what
Okay,
one of the
good.
questions was, is they don't have to go rewrite their whole books
Right.
in order for us to enforce it,
Mhm.
the way I understand it. So, work with them and get it done.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Christie.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
See you this afternoon.
Ian, Chris,
There you go.
Mike, thank you.
I brought all the, big guns along in case you had questions.
I'm sorry, yeah. We trust you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we hadn't seen them in a while, so it's good to see their faces again.
They're still there.
And we have a bunch of signings of agreement.
Do we want to talk about that some more before we sign them? We don't have to do them today, do we?
No.
I think we were just kind of discussing it. We want to kind of look at each one of them a little more.
Sorry.
You just had them in the stack, so you were wanting to get them done, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have already signed letters of intent for these people out of the budget, so those are the ones I brought you. And there are some other ones that are still hanging out there. But I understood that you didn't want to visit with these entities from the one meeting that we had, so that's why we went ahead and got the contract ready on the ones that you see there,
So we sent them a letter, basically saying that we had a certain amount of funds in the budget for, did they respond back?
No. Other than the letter states that we'll have to have a contract, and instead of letting them write the contracts, and we have all different kinds of contracts, Jill has been writing them for the last several years.
Mhm.
So you don't have the contracts?
I do have.
You do have contracts.
Are they-
Okay, I thought you
are
just
they
said
signed by
I'm
them?
sorry.
No, they're not
And,
signed by them yet.
There's still a couple, there's the Thursday Night Live that's not here. There's the
Why do you have
arts,
just these then?
Um, Usually, the ones I do not have right now is soil and water, and they usually send us in a court order, different than a contract, because by law, they're different. Same way with the extension, we don't really have a contract with them, we have an order
Those are statutory.
yeah. And the other two that we're waiting on, the Historical Society, I have that, and it's on for Thursday. I was waiting on their contract.
Why don't we wait till we get their agreement back with their signature first,
I
and
can
then we
do that.
approve it,
I can do that, I can mail
and
these
then we
to
can
you.
take each one individually and we can discuss them.
It's fine with me.
What, Joe, you said something was statutory.
Soil and water is statutory and extension center is statutory. Although,
On the amounts?
soil and water, I don't even know what the amount is.
It's not very much, it's,
But extension
5,000 for soil conservation.
is, what was it, 10,000, I think, minimum.
For who?
Extension.
Extension is.
Then Chris had me look at all the other first-class counties to see what they donate. And it's everything from the minimum to about 120,000, I think.
Well, those aren't on it. We've got like the Able Learning Center, Crime Stopper. Janet Owsley's been, you're gonna give us our money again, aren't you? And I said,
So, I mean, where I'm at here is that I really struggle with picking certain organizations and funding them at certain levels. And we've added some here in the past. And so I have to look at this just like I would personally, and I can only fund so many. And, I mean, we're talking about taxpayer dollars. And so I really struggle with funding any of these. Not that they're not worthy, not that they're not good organizations, not that they don't need the funds. It's just, I don't know that it's my place to spend those, to give them those funds, so.
what's our history? How long have we been funding these? I mean, this is,
some of
I'm,
these
Over 8
predate
years.
me. Some of these predate me for sure, so, and I've been here 25 years.
Some of the history, and Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong, is that different commissioners gave to different organizations. And so it was basically a personal connection, a personal request. And anyway, so I think it's from my standpoint, it's real easy to just continue to give those funds. And I mean, it's hard to take those funds away. But these are real dollars. So I just like to look at it a little bit more before we make any commitments to any of them, so.
but we've sent letters out
I've
to,
sent 4 letters out,
who'd we send out?
Soil and Water,
Oh, okay.
Extension,
Okay,
the Historical Society, and Art and Park.
okay, so none of these.
No. What I was gonna do was send a letter with these contracts.
Is one of those Habitat?
Yes.
Yeah, Habitats.
They have not received a letter, but we did talk to her via email and told her what was budgeted. Again, it's a line item with their name on it. So to not do it now, I mean, obviously you could decide that, but.
Jill, is there also a thing that says we have to give, it's not a dollar amount, but it says we're required to give the money to the poor? I mean, it's.
To what?
To the poor, it's like our health and welfare
Yeah,
fund that we
there's a-
set up, it's
I know what
by
you're talking
statute,
about.
there's a requirement that the county give to the poor. It's not a certain dollar amount, it's not a set
It's a general-
organization, it's a
It's kind
general.
of a general mission.
Right,
205,580 to 620, county is required to provide support for the poor, which is accomplished through contracts with various programs. But I think Chris's point is, how we're gonna decide which programs, how much to each program. And so we were just talking about earlier, so we don't have to decide today. So let's just, we can talk about it some more before we sign them, or if you're fine with signing them, then we can go ahead. But
Well, I mean,
I
Jeff
think if
has,
there's
if Jeff
questions-
said, can we get a list
Sure.
of what how much we're giving to each of them?
You got your budget book. We have them all in there. We did move the
Yeah.
EcoDeval out of there for,
I sent the list on January
What page
12th
you
in
on?
an email, so there's the list.
January 12th.
Mhm.
What would I have saved that under?
I don't know. Debbie annoys me or
No.
something.
No, those are different ones.
Oh, I see.
That's in the things I'm not going to fund list.
Larry's office.
Budget.
Oh, thanks. Throw me under the bus.
January 12th, public welfare and others. Booyah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I mean, in general, I don't have an issue with funding some of these things, but it just seems to me like we've kind of gotten a little out of control here. And I would like to see us set a dollar amount, total dollars, and then maybe split that up.
We didn't have an actual policy, but we did kind of limit it to, I think we went down to 5,000 at one point, because I had some questions about them too, same issues before. But the ones that we were doing to 10,000 before, we just didn't think that was fair to just drop them down. Wasn't it 5,000, Debbie?
Most, I mean,
Any of them
most of
over-
them were years ago, and then we started with some coming in that were 10,000. I mean, senior nutrition used to be like 5, and then they put a new kitchen on their center, and then we gave another 5, and it stayed at 10.
I don't think,
since then.
I think that was before me though, because I think
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
intent on staying with 5,000 maximum.
Yeah.
Is that Bill Deacon's, one of
It
his,
was
one of
then,
his
I'm not sure.
project, one of his,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think Donnie was involved at that time too.
I don't know how you pick. I mean, I really don't. But
We can do the same as we did economic development. We can put a amount in under economic development, and then we can go through, and then when the well dries up, we're done.
And technically, we kind of did, we put the public welfare ones within public welfare, and then we set aside another 36,000 into professional services and general accounts, or
Not
economic
really.
development.
You said they all have their own line item.
Well, okay, Homemaker
So-
Healthcare does, Able Learning does, Senior Nutrition does, Habitat for Humana does.
Crime
and
Stoppers, Historical Society,
Yeah.
Council, Soil Council.
No, those 3 went to the economic development, I don't know why. Foster care, Salute to America obviously did, but I have to go back and present, but these are the,
some of
we're on
them
the budget.
some of them we took out of general welfare and put in economic development.
That's right.
Yeah, we moved them around.
And there was some new ones that we didn't put anywhere because it's still up to you, there's money in economic development. That is the convention bike tour, I don't know if that's happening, art stroll, and then the Thursday night live thing. Was definitely in the economic development. Crime Stoppers.
Want to vote them, we can vote them.
Well, I mean,
I'd wait till we get a letter back, or a contract signed from them, and just take them one at a time.
I can do that, I can mail these out, but, and again, it's got the amount on them, so.
do they normally send back a request? I mean, once they get this letter, then do we require them to make a request for that money?
After that, once this contract is signed, I pay based on this contract.
They send a request before we even start the budget.
That's right, they
Right.
sent it back.
Okay.
to Kristen.
Okay, so
We
we've
have
had,
that
In the
budget,
budget
yeah.
process, we send out letters and they have to send in a request
Okay.
to be included in the budget.
I was saying Lions Club, we've cut out some, that we donate to, mainly because they just never asked for it.
Right.
So all of these have made a request for
That's right.
the funds.
And again, I can mail these out and then wait till they get them back and put it back on the agenda. Yeah, there's Historical Society's already signed there, so it will be coming back Thursday to you.
Yeah.
The ones that are mean to us.
Who's mean to you, Jeff?
Your big ones are yet to decide as far as the chamber goes. So, and.
Yeah, I think the Thursday night live, it seems like we did that for some Thursday nights they were doing like in the fall, and those, they got rained out and everything else. I don't think they're even on their schedule for this fall, so that's probably
And those are the
not
ones.
something, I don't know about the art stroll either.
Thursday Night Live wasn't added until about 2014.
Yeah, and I'd rather,
I didn't.
on some of
I'm not
those,
voting
I'd
for that one
rather,
either. I'll tell you that right now.
wait on
Not at 10,000.
like that and
I won't
the
vote for it. Or the-
hot rod tour and the art stroll and
Or the
just,
salute.
yeah.
I ain't voting 10,000 for it either right now, I'll tell you that much. I'll do 5,000 like we did before, but. we're gonna add
Historically, what have we given to the salute?
Five.
It was 5.
10 for the last 2 years, I
12,
think, though.
13, and in 14 we went to 10. So, and it, yeah, that's when we did it last year.
Yep. And that was mainly the $5,000 threshold that I wanted to try to stay at, so.
We could give them 5, and if they come for us, give us a good reason why they need the other 5.
Okay. Want me to just mail them out and get them when we get back? Put them on the agenda?
I don't know, or do we want to mail them out a contract? We want to mail them out a contract, have them sign the contract, and then bring it back and then it.
That's what I would do, that gives
Well,
us
but
more
the
time
salute
to
to
talk about
America,
it.
is that for 10,000 right now? I mean, if Jeff has,
Yes. Yes, they all have amounts. So did the letter, so, yeah.
the letter, did we already send them a letter?
No, we have
Okay.
not sent them a letter.
Well, I thought we went through all these during the budget part.
Right.
Did we not specifically go through each one?
No.
I-
I don't think so.
Well, we usually do, because I know I would raise a little bit of a stir about the $10,000 ones on the ones we just changed or added.
The ones in question, I thought, were the downtown Jeff City, the downtown Hot Rod, and the art stroll. As far as the other ones, yeah, you still have final control, but I thought all the rest of them were already done as far as, except for the chamber too. It's totally up to you guys. And I know I'd asked at the last meeting, I guess, if you wanted these entities to come in and listen to their spiel about what all they're doing for the residents of the county, that's up to you. But assuming you guys know what,
Well, I think River City Habitat, you know what they do, you know what ABLE does, you know what Crime Stoppers does, you know what Senior Nutrition does.
right, so that's why I went ahead and got Jill went ahead and got the contract together. Get
We
some-
make art come in because they always do something different.
Right, we need.
Yeah.
Habitat usually puts in their letter which property we're basically sponsoring or part of.
And they did.
Homemaker Healthcare,
They've been in before. I mean, you're the new guy on the block. If you want to come up and listen to it, I don't care.
that's about the only one I really don't understand. But do we want to have Salute to America come in and justify $10,000 or just,
We got somebody on the board with them, so they can. I just wanted to stay at the 5,000 on it. They asked for the additional funding a couple years ago, or was it last year? I forget.
Just last year.
So, okay, and then Mark and Chris were okay with it. I just said, want to, so.
So Debbie, we moved 32,000 over to economic development?
I thought it was 49.
Well, one added up to 41 and the other one added up to 36.5. But we may have upped it just because I didn't know what they were gonna do with these. Yeah.
So which ones did we move over? Do you have that in front of you?
Let me go get the printout.
Thursday Night Live, Hot Rod Tour, Art Stroll,
Definitely those.
Yeah,
But there was,
and Chamber.
yeah.
Basically, we just put 200,000 in there under
Right.
economic
But
development.
there was $30 or $40,000 that we took out of general welfare and put into economic development.
You know, she doesn't have salute on there, and I think we moved it. Same
Yeah.
with the soil and water, didn't you say to move soil and water down there? I don't have my book in here either, so
Yeah.
I had notes on it.
Yeah.
I can grab my budget book while she's grabbing her stuff.
Are you on the Salute to America
Mm-hmm.
committee?
Yeah, usually we alternate as chair and co-chair of the board of directors or whatever. So I was chair last year, but of course, usually the mayor takes the other year, but anyway, since we're gonna have a new mayor,
Yeah.
they wanted me to be chair again, so anyway.
so the first one is the total economic development. Comparing that to last year, it's a $50,000 higher. Depending on what you're gonna do with it. Actually, let's see, it was 150. And the second sheet is the ones that are actually listed in the budget that Christian has put in New World, put it that way.
So these were all in under welfare last year?
So the ones that we pulled out was Crime Stoppers, Historical Society, Salute to America.
And you're probably right, because I was forgetting about the $1,000 that we've already paid, so 49,000 would be what's additional in economic development.
Where's foster care at on there?
Since that was new, that actually was never set up in the welfare, so it's in economic development.
So when did we start doing foster care?
Foster care was last year, and then when we approved the
Mhm.
budget, it wasn't decided whether or not it was for sure approved or not, so it got put into 127 miscellaneous until you guys decided for sure. It was never added to 143. It should have been this year, and it doesn't look like that it is.
Okay, that was just one I had a note on and I didn't see it on there, so.
And sometimes when we start these things, we don't know, we hate to set up an account for it if we don't know it's gonna be an ongoing thing.
Right.
As that's concerned.
But yeah, really, Salute to America is it really is economic development. Boy, that brings a lot of people into Jefferson City.
For one day.
For one day, yeah. But it was amazing number of people I talked to who were from different states and everywhere else, so it's is that the only one you've got questions on, Jeff, or?
Yeah, because we increased it and then there was one other one.
We added the Thursday Night Live.
Yeah, let's see, those I'd still,
Yeah, and that
Let's
was
just
at
wait.
10,000 too, so.
Yeah, let's just.
That was my big,
On Thursday Night Live, the Art Stroll and the CVB Hot Rod Tour, why don't we,
How much was Crime Stoppers asking?
2, I think.
2,000, we had, Janet Owsley, she always kind of cries about that, but,
Is that how much they're getting this year?
That's what we're discussing.
yeah.
I was kind of stating an opinion.
Mhm.
So noted.
We actually do get crimes solved that we wouldn't get solved otherwise, both county and city, through Crime Stoppers.
Do we pay out the full 2,000 in a year, or, I mean, there's gotta be other money than just 2,000.
It would depend on the year. There are some people that are not sufficiently civic-minded enough to give up information, and they do it for reward, and that's been the advantage of Crime Stoppers.
Do you wanna just take them one by one and vote on them, or do you would rather just wait till the contracts are signed? I mean, I just.
I already
need some-
said I'd wait till the contracts are signed.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with that.
We can approve all of them today, or we can wait till they're signed and take them one by one when we get the contracts.
My fear in waiting is that you're extending an offer, okay?
Yeah, and then we,
You've got that letter saying we have the money and all this other business. So when they sign it, that means they're accepting our offer. And at that point, we're bound. So,
yeah.
Not if I don't sign it. I see what you're saying, but until I sign it,
Well, but I think we're telling Salute to America, we're gonna give them $10,000, and then they sign it, it comes back, and we say, we're only gonna give you 5,000.
I got a pencil, I can scratch through that 10,000.
They have to re-sign it, or
Yeah.
initial it or something.
Well-
Well, I can send it to them with 5,000. They
this
can
would
send a
never
count.
happen because the amounts are so minuscule,
Mhm.
but relatively speaking, but they could sue you
Yeah,
on contract because you have extended them an offer and they accepted it. Then you don't follow through.
All right, tell them to send us a contract and a signed contract of their own, and then that way they're making the offer. And then we can sign it. We were just trying to help them out by writing a contract for them, essentially, the way I see it. Just like if you're gonna buy a house, you're gonna sign the contract, make the offer, and if they sign it and send it back, then you got to consent.
Salute to America, do they count on our 10,000? I mean, is it,
Well, prior to last year, they made do with 5,000, and they.
I think the city up there's to 10 a couple years ago.
Right.
And so they were wanting to,
So they rely on
Yeah.
private donations to help fund that event, and then from sales of vendors pay fees, and they get money from the carnival and various things, and so.
sponsors,
Yep.
advertising.
Mhm. So,
we can cut it to 5,000, if they come back and say, hey, we need the other 5,000. I don't know.
Thursday Night Live hasn't made a request for theirs.
No.
And if they do call, I'm just gonna say they need to get on the agenda, to
Yeah.
talk to you guys.
Yeah, I think those three.
Any of the ones right, any of the
Yeah, I
ones
think
at the
those
bottom.
others.
Same with the chamber.
I got a lot of flack from that. People weren't happy that, as a downtown merchant, I got flack that the county gave that money, so.
We can vote today. I can tell you that I'm gonna have to pick and choose on general welfare, so. Anyway, I'm not gonna continue down the same path. And so, I don't know how I pick. Maybe I pick one this year, maybe I pick another one next year, but if you guys wanna outvote me, you can, but I'm just not gonna continue to fund all those.
you have some other way that you would suggest that? I mean, it would be nice to do some kind of application process or something, but then you're kind of opening the door for everyone. I mean, because right now, we do currently send letters to the people that we've given to forever and just kind of say, you know, we're in the budget process. If you'd like to send your request, please send it in. We do not go outside of the list that's already there. They would have to approach you on their own, which we have had you do in the past few years. Do you see there being a better way?
I wouldn't send them a letter to start with. If they want the money and they're counting on it in the budget, they should be contacting us. I didn't know we sent them a letter here and saying, we're working on budget. You better get your request in. I thought they were all doing that on their own already.
The problem was most of them would wait till the very end and then request from you guys. So we tried to get it organized to where they would, but because it was the same people.
And we-
Until the last couple of years, we
I
started
know.
letting others in.
We got one right over there that's wanting a whole big old check of money that they were counting on every year.
Well, yeah.
And that's been part of the sore under my saddle is that they just assume that it's always there. So,
They must again because they sent the first quarter bill.
oh, I know. I asked them about that.
Yeah, Kristen, so to answer your question, yeah, I'd like to see us put a cap on it, whatever that dollar amount is. And we take requests for that and we divvy it up to that threshold and that's all we do.
So you'd rather see one line item for a
Yes.
flat dollar amount, and then you guys can, as the requests come in, distribute the money how you feel.
Right.
So maybe a letter at budget time explaining how we're gonna do it next year or something. Not-
So then we're gonna have to get rid of all these line items and you're just gonna have it all under welfare. And then we can pick and
We would
choose.
like to know that now, because with the new software, we can eliminate. some
That's
of
what I was asking, that's a question if we're gonna change how we do that.
But not counting the ones, soil and water, extension. But historical society, or
Well, soil was moved, well, did we move it?
soil and extension, we have to. So otherwise, you've got probably around
So
65.
the extension center is in 127 currently.
Yes.
We could move soil conservation into 127 since it's required by statute. It does not have to be in this health and welfare category.
Yeah,
and
it probably
actually-
shouldn't be.
And actually, if
It
you're
probably
go-
shouldn't be in there.
If you're going to do away with the individual lines, we probably will just take this into 127 in one flat line account called general public welfare or something. Yeah, we won't need a separate department if you're not going to have individual accounts in there.
That way the district could stay, but we don't need to, we just started in 127.
That's why I like the line items, you see the history on it.
That's why we've tried to,
I don't care if we keep the line items, I mean, I just think that we need a total. And at the end of the day, the total doesn't exceed X, whatever that number is. Because the way I see this is that somebody's requesting $7,500 this year. You know, do they request 8,500 or 10 grand next year? And, you know, where's the end of the pot?
well, and I guess that's why the individual line items, so you can see from year to year what you have given to those each individual.
And this is what we gave them last year, so there's no,
No, that's what's in this year's.
that's what's in this year. Are there any that are,
The only one that actually asked for an increase this year would be Homemaker Services, and we held them to the same amount as last year.
We put that in the budget. Right?
The same amount as last year. we
Yes.
did.
Right, we put that in the budget.
Right. But Chris, if you do keep them in the individual lines like that, you are restricting it to being paid to those people. I mean, to make it to where you could divvy it up differently, you would have to put it in one line item and give it a more generic name. Because when you approve the budget this way, you're pretty much setting aside those funds to those individuals.
I think the only ones that, I mean, we can have that bottom line at 62.5, well, actually it's 67.5 with foster care right now, which is in 127, but overall, that's where it comes down to. When we do budget, that's when we can determine that bottom line, but then we're also looking at each line item above it, the history of it. I think in the 6 years, we've not added anything besides foster care since I've been up here, Debbie, is that, or do you remember for sure, Kristen?
Well, last year we added the Thursday Night Live. It was,
I didn't.
it was paid in the same grouping, it just didn't, it was like foster care, it wasn't approved at the end of the year, so it came out of 127.
Yeah, and then we increased the Salute to America to
Right.
10,000.
Right. Those changes last year were the first time that we made actual changes to the list of people that we give to.
Well, we had-
Prior to that, it was pretty set on.
We had the hot rod tour too.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And the Civil War project was a one-time,
2 years.
yeah. Same thing with Lewis and Clark Task Force. They were like a 1 or 2 year thing. It was not a reoccurring.
Just remember both those separate.
Up to you, Sam.
Well-
You're running the show.
Yeah, the only one I think the lower ones, the Thursday Night Lives and Hot Rod and the Art Stroll, but the ones that that are kind of our standards that we've been funding. I'm questioning Jeff's talking about Salute to America. I think that really that does, as far as economic development, that does bring a lot of people into Jefferson City. So I don't really have any problem keeping that at $10,000. I don't, but we could set a ceiling on what we are gonna give for this, next year, so that we don't. Do we want to wait, or do we want to?
I don't care. I told you, I'm gonna pick. Not that I'm gonna pick because I don't think any of these organizations are worthy or a good cause, but, I'm gonna vote no on several, so.
Let's move it, let's table it to next week. And then that gives you time to sit down and figure out which ones you want to go with, and if we want to change the ones that, if there's a change we want to make, on, gives us time to think about it. And then we can send the letters out, and that way we don't get in trouble. Like Jill said, we can send them our offer.
And there's no time.
No, just remember those ones I have marked their letters.
Yeah.
I've already sent.
Well, we got the Historical Society, you said it's coming Thursday.
Thursday, and I have it signed, and I've had several phone calls. They're in desperate need of money.
Okay, why don't we just table it then? Do we need to make a motion to table?
I don't think we need to do
We
anything
don't
really.
need-
Just-
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Next week, all right.
Maintenance contract.
Maintenance contract for Elkin Swires.
That was moved till Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. Asbestos inspection of property at 5003 Monticello. Larry, are you gonna? We
This-
don't.
It's for $750. It's just the signing of the agreement. They will go in, inspect, and give you a report. And then from that
Hey.
report, we'll take it from there.
You can't sign that till we vote it.
Oh. Okay.
Jill hasn't seen it either,
Oh,
so.
okay.
I thought I emailed it to you, Jim. I emailed it.
No.
You thought you was gonna fly right through that one, huh? We'll slow you down. What's the next thing on while Jill's looking at that?
That's all I have.
Annual federal equitable sharing agreement and certification for the Cole County Sheriff's Department.
Right, it's a rollover account. It's money that we've received from equitable sharing. It starts with what we began with in 2014, any funds that we received, any funds that we spend, and then we have to report what the balances as of 2014. This is just a report of what we received and what we spent.
We just need to approve, report or accept it.
Yeah, Betsy always.
Okay.
Accept it or?
All you're doing is you're saying, yeah, this is the truth.
It's
Betsy.
in the budget.
That's his job,
Okay.
to keep us all out of love,
I-
as is Debbie's, and this is Jim's.
We're required
So
to report the federal funds every year, so they keep a running total. You're just signing that, yes, we filled out. the
I'm not
forms
signing
we
anything.
submitted.
Well, until we vote on it. So,
I'm gonna be Jeff today.
That also
I'm-
notifies you how much federal forfeiture came through, so you're aware of it as well. It's also reflected in revenue line.
Basically, y'all fill in the blanks and y'all are just saying we need the commission to sign the report.
The federal government
So-
requires that it's got my signature and it's got your all signature.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I move we approve the equitable sharing agreement and certification for the sheriff's department.
Second,
Roll call.
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes.
Chris.
Yes,
Now I'll sign.
there you go.
Wait. Just kidding.
Oh, God.
It'll bring an air
Good thing we're
horn
having
next time.
pizza and beer on Thursday.
Pizza and
Beer.
beer.
Oh.
And this one is for Mustang,
Making fun
since we
out
were their
there.
pass-through agency in 2014, and we dealt with the grant and the forfeiture account.
I move we approve the annual federal equitable sharing agreement and certification for the Mustang Drug Task Force.
Second,
Roll call.
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes.
Chris.
Yes,
I can sign
there you go. Now you're on.
it.
Guess we need a pay increase. We just stick it on Sam's desk and let him sign it.
Be like radar. There you go, Colonel, just sign this.
Okay, we got asbestos. What are you gonna do with
Okay.
asbestos, Shay?
I move we approve the asbestos inspection for the property on Monticello Road.
Second,
Roll call.
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes.
Chris.
Yes.
What time you gotta be out of here, Chris?
Oh, 10:30 or so.
Oh, we got all kinds of time.
That's
here.
right.
What are the issues we got?
Debbie usually has some stuff. You got anything for us, boss?
Oh, nope.
No?
I gotta go to payroll. Except for one thing, but I'm not gonna.
Payroll.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it is a January. It's gonna be Christmas before we know it. Is it really already the end of the month? Wow.
Close.
That came up quick.
Do we have any other issues?
Yeah, I gotta sign
Um,
it. But that gentleman right here's gonna be.
I don't know, I was catching up on emails last night, it seemed like they blew up yesterday. You don't have anything, Debbie? We had all that stuff on there. Oh, we'd be longer to go.
What do we resolve on the, you got that courthouse restrooms on the agenda for Thursday, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I think so. That's what I told Greg. I said, God, I'd read more emails on bathrooms than I really.
Greg Camp.
Yes.
Greg Camp, yes.
Did you have them printed off, or did you read them on the computer?
Both. Both. I'm gonna go over there. I'm a visual person.
Well,
I'm gonna have him show me all the restrooms.
You need to go over there and see it.
Yeah.
Because we made changes, we got handicap accessible ones now. They had issues with one that had a mess in it, and he had to be called
Yeah, I
back
know.
in. And then the other ones were shut down because they had the jury in there, and I guess that is a big concern that the jury don't become tainted. So,
I think porta potties are the answer.
Porta potties.
Porta potties.
is that the wrong
Oh,
word?
gosh.
Just-
Stack them up outside the
Infested?
courthouse. They go outside.
Porta potties, yeah.
There you go.
So do we have any other issues?
I move we stand in recess till 4:30.
Second.
All those in favor?
All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
That was, yeah.
Ready for us tomorrow?